Hi, welcome back to Immersive English, where you can immerse yourself in English to a variety of topics. Today's episode, we're going to talk about how to manage your time. Here's a question for you. Did you finish work today and still feel like you didn't get anything done? You answered every email. You sat through every meeting. Your phone buzzed all day, and you replied to almost every message. And yet, at the end of the day, the one task that actually mattered, the report, the project, the conversation you needed to have, is still sitting there, untouched. This happens to almost everyone, and most people explain it the same way: I just need more time. So they buy a new planner. They try a new app. They wake up 30 minutes earlier. And a few weeks later, nothing has really changed. That's because the problem was never the number of hours in your day. Everyone gets the same 24. The real problem is something else, something we're going to name clearly in this video, along with a set of practical steps you can use starting today. This isn't a video about motivation. It's a guide. By the end, you'll understand exactly why your schedule feels out of control, and you'll have simple tools to fix it. Tools you can use tomorrow morning, not someday. Let's start with the problem itself, because most people are solving the wrong one. The hidden cost of too many decisions. Think about your last work day, hour by hour. You didn't just do tasks. You made decisions. Which email to answer first, whether to join that meeting, whether to reply to a message right away or wait. By the middle of the afternoon, you had already made dozens of small choices, and each one used a small piece of your mental energy. This is the real problem. It's not a shortage of hours. It's a shortage of clear decisions. When everything on your list looks equally urgent, your brain has to fight the same battle over and over. What should I do right now? That fight is exhausting, and it's invisible. You don't see it the way you see a missed deadline, but it's there, all day, quietly draining your focus. Here's a simple way to picture it. Imagine someone finishes a full day of work. They answered every email. They attended every meeting. Their inbox is empty. But the one report their manager actually needs, the task that determines whether the project moves forward, never got touched. Not because they were lazy, not because they didn't have time, but because no one, including them, had clearly decided that this task came first. This is why adding more hours doesn't solve the problem. If you wake up earlier, you simply have more time to make the same unclear decisions. The fix isn't more time. The fix is fewer, clearer decisions about what matters most. So before we talk about tools or schedules, remember this one idea. Time management is not really about time. It's about deciding in advance what deserves your attention so you're not deciding it 50 times a day, under pressure, while your energy is already low. Now consider how this plays out over weeks and months, not just one day. One decision, repeated daily. You don't need a complicated system to fix this. You need one small habit, repeated every single day. Here's the habit. Before you open your email, before you check any messages, decide on paper what your one most important task is today. Not 5 tasks. 1. This works because of a simple pattern, a 1% improvement, repeated daily, becomes a large change over time. One clear decision each morning feels small, but after 30 days, you've made 30 confident starts to your day instead of 30 mornings lost to checking messages and reacting to whatever appeared first. Imagine a freelance graphic designer who used to start every day by opening her email. Small requests, quick questions, minor edits. They filled her morning before she even noticed. By lunchtime, she was tired, and her main project, the one that actually paid her bills, hadn't been touched. So she changed one habit. Before opening anything else, she wrote down her single most important task for the day and worked on it. For the first hour, no email, no messages, just that one task. At first, it felt uncomfortable. She worried she was missing something urgent. But after 2 weeks, she noticed her main projects were finishing faster, with less stress. The small requests were still there in the afternoon. Most of them weren't actually urgent at all. This is the core habit behind real-time management. Decide your one priority before the day can decide it for you. It costs 5 minutes, but repeated daily, it changes how your entire week feels. There's a psychological piece to this as well, and it's just as important as the habit itself. Stop rebuilding the perfect list. Here's something worth noticing about your own habits. How much time do you spend rearranging your to-do list compared to actually doing the tasks on it? For many people, the honest answer is too much. You open your list. You move task 3 above task 1. You add a new task, then delete it. You wonder if today should really start with the report, or the phone call, or the errand. 10 minutes pass, then 20, and you still haven't started anything. This is overthinking disguised as planning. It feels productive because you're organizing, but it's actually a way of avoiding the discomfort of starting and possibly starting on the wrong thing. Your mind searches for the perfect first task because picking wrong feels like a small failure. Here's the shift you need to make. No task on your list is truly wrong to start with. If it's on your list, it matters. The cost of picking the third best task and starting immediately is much smaller than the cost of spending 20 minutes deciding and starting nothing. Try this instead. Look at your list once. Pick a task that clearly matters. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Start without checking a list again until the timer ends. You are not committing to this task forever. You are only committing to the next 25 minutes. This small rule removes the endless loop of reorganizing. It replaces a search for the perfect plan with a habit of movement. And movement, even imperfect movement, teaches you something a perfect list never can. What actually needs your attention, and what was only pretending to. Once you've quieted that overthinking, there's one more condition your time needs in order to work well, and it has nothing to do with your to-do list at all. Protect the quiet hour. Notice how different your focus feels in a quiet room compared to a room with constant notification. This isn't just a preference. It's how your attention actually works. Every notification, even one you ignore, takes a small piece of your focus to process. Was that important? Should I check it? That question repeats itself dozens of times a day, and each repetition costs you time you don't get back. This is why protecting quiet, uninterrupted blocks of time isn't a luxury reserved for people with easy jobs. It's a basic requirement for doing real work. Turning off notifications for 1 hour isn't avoiding your responsibilities. It's exactly how you meet them. Here's a concrete example. Someone struggling to finish a task decides, one afternoon, to put their phone in another room and close every browser tab except the one they're working in. They expect the task to take 3 hours, based on past experience. Instead, they finish it in 45 minutes. Nothing about the task changed. What changed was the number of times their attention was pulled away from it. There's a second part to this idea. Constraints aren't always the enemy of good work. A tight deadline or a short block of time often produces sharper decisions than an open, unlimited schedule does. When you know you only have 1 hour, you stop preparing and start doing. When you have all day, that same task can quietly expand to fill it, with breaks, distractions, and delays included. So the responsibility here is simple. Even if it's not always easy, protect blocks of quiet time on purpose and treat limited time as an advantage, not a problem to complain about. A constraint gives your brain permission to stop overthinking and just work. With that quiet, focused approach in place, there's one last piece that brings everything together. Start before it's perfect. Let's bring this together with the final idea, and it might be the most important one. A plan you actually start today will always beat a perfect system you never open. It's tempting to believe that the right app, the right planner, or the right color-coded calendar will finally solve your time problem. So people spend hours comparing planning tools, watching tutorials, and setting up systems, and very little time actually working inside them. The search for the perfect system becomes its own form of avoiding the task. Picture someone who spent an entire weekend comparing planning apps, reading reviews, and testing free trials, trying to find the one that would finally fix their schedule. By Sunday night, they had tested 5 apps and finished 0 tasks. On Monday morning, they gave up the search. They took a sticky note, wrote down 1 task, and did it. That single sticky note did more for their day than 5 carefully compared apps. This is the pattern to remember. Done is better than perfect. A simple list on paper, started today, will always outperform an ideal system that stays in planning mode forever. Your time management doesn't need to be advanced. It needs to be used. And this connects to something bigger than your daily schedule. The way you treat time reflects the way you treat your own goals in general. Waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect amount of energy is often just a comfortable way to delay starting. Real progress comes from small, imperfect action, repeated consistently in your schedule and in your life. Now, let's turn this into something you can use right away. Here's a simple exercise. The 1 task rule. Tomorrow morning, Before you open email or any messages, write down one task, your single most important task for the day. Then ask yourself 3 questions. First, is this the task that matters most today, even if it isn't the easiest one? Second, can I protect at least 1 hour with notifications off to work on it without interruption? Third, am I willing to start now, even if my plan isn't perfect? You don't need a new app. You don't need a new planner. You need one clear decision, 1 quiet hour, and 1 imperfect start. That's the whole system. Managing your time well isn't about controlling every minute of your day. It's about making a few clear decisions, protecting the time you need, and starting before you feel ready. You already have everything you need to try this tomorrow morning. If this video helped you, give it a like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more episodes like this one. Let us know in the comments which lesson you're going to try first. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.